All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. In today's transmission, we're going to be speaking to you about the impact of negative emotions in your body, how they fester, and how you can allow yourself to start moving them, recognizing them, transcending them. That's what this transmission is going to be about, dear ones. So, let's start with the feeling of negative emotion, whether it's loneliness, whether it's frustration, irritation, anger, sadness, anything along that spectrum. So the first step is being able to recognize at any given moment when the negative emotion is moving through you. And this means an activation in the cells of your being. When you activate a negative emotion, or when you create a negative emotion, this then begins a plethora effect all around your energy field, awakening anything that may have been dormant, and awakening anything that may be of a similar frequency. The longer the emotion remains unnoticed, because sometimes people stay in irritation, and sometimes people often stay in the anger and frustration that they experience. But more often than not, so many humans allow their negative emotions to fester, unaware, unknown. And this is the most troubling state to be in, the unawareness of what's going on within you that is then causing the effect and the reality that you experience, which is more than likely to be unpleasant. Anyone harboring a depth of negative emotion that has been lingering for too long, that has gone unnoticed for too long, will then plant the seeds of a manifestation that is creating a very lifeless and dull reality, and connects them to even people, places, and events of that nature. And this is why the very first step of feeling and training yourself to become aware of what negative emotion is with you in any given moment is so important. Once you know, you can move to step 2. Step 2 is being present with the negative emotion. So if you are able to recognize the sadness, and if you are able to then be present with the sadness rather than run or hide from this emotion, you will then gain an understanding of that particular feeling and the message that it has for you. And that's what every emotion is delivering. It is a message of exactly where you are. It is feedback for the direction you should take. Signals from the intelligence of the body speaking to you all the time. Most go unheard, and that leads to the disruption so many people are experiencing. So we want to come into an equilibrium and harmony, a harmonious place. And we do this through recognizing what's with us. And then we do this by being present and being as conscious at staying with the negative emotion that has risen. And once you are able to stay with the negative emotion that has surfaced, follow it. Follow it, because it will be moving in a direction that will need to, at some point, depending on the degree of that emotion, it will at some point need to be expressed. So the longer you stay with it, the more it unravels itself of what it truly is and what desires to be seen and not suppressed. And when you stay with the negative emotion and allow yourself to maybe cry, maybe shout, maybe express yourself in a way that you've never done before, maybe connect to a part of your body that you've never connected to before, it is here where that particular energy starts moving. And when it starts moving, this is the third step into your liberation of that energy. And when you start moving into the liberation of that energy, you will immediately start feeling a little bit different, a little bit lighter, a difference in your resonance, a clarity, new lens, a fresh breath of life, and understanding exactly what to do with the messages of the negative emotions. So step one, every single day, recognize where you are, recognize your state of being, check in on yourself as soon as you wake up. Where are you? Are you awakening in a negative state? Are you awakening in a positive state? How do you feel upon waking? Is it lifeless or dull, or are you happy and vibrant? Find out where you are. There are so many opportunities in every day. Get to know yourself by knowing your state at any given moment. Secondly, when you are able to complete the first step, then open yourself to receiving the message in which your body is transmitting to you. And remember to not let these places suggest to you negative associations or connotations that then create stories that lead you to run or hide or suppress this particular feeling. All must be addressed in order for transcendence. So be with it. It's neither good or bad. They just are. These emotions just are. But we call them negative because that's the understanding of the human vocabulary. And it's the understanding of how we communicate with you. So we are using a term that you understand and can connect to. But remember, do not allow yourself to play stories upon a meaning of what these emotions may be. Just open and receive the insight and the message it has for you, where it was derived from, and how you can move it. And your presence of staying with any particular emotion will always create the space for it to be seen, which then moves you to step 3, liberation. It's the freeing of the energy, the collection of energies that may have been stored, depending on how far along your timeline you are and how much presence you have given your body. So the more you practice this, the more you're going to understand the entire process of liberating yourself from these negative emotions. And there are just 3 simple steps. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. And the more you do it, you'll see that these are just states, and it is not necessary for these emotions to hijack your entire mind. And it is unnecessary for you to carry these emotions further than they need to go, further than the message that it is brought to you. Just see them as messengers, a collective orb of energy that is delivering you a message through a feeling, a collective orb of energy that once delivered, you can thank it and allow it to move on. And you can thank it once it transcends. So stay within yourself, stay within your body, moment to moment. Arrive back into your body and the movement of your body. And that's where you will be. And we thank you all for being here. Thank you.